This is the third video. The second one messed up on me. I apologize. I installed the radiator, brand new radiator, brand new fan shroud, 2012 Buick Enclave. Filling up the coolant now, be getting air out of the system. If you don't have this, this is a great tool to use. In order to use it, find the right attachment for it. Make sure it's nice and tight. Snug it up. Don't fill this up with coolant. Only put it to the bottom line. That way you can see the air bubbles if there are any air bubbles coming out. I had a bunch of air bubbles coming out. I filled it up to that bottom line on the tank, and look where it's down to now. I ran it for about 25 minutes. Revved it up to about 2,500 RPM for 2 minutes. Turn the heat on inside your vehicle, full blast front and back, because a lot of us vehicles have rear AC and heat. So you want that all your the thermostat and everything else to open up and get all the air out of the system. So right now that's what we're down to. I'm gonna let it cool off and then I'm gonna take it out. My gauge, I've seen a lot of posts on the gauges read anywhere between 220 and let me see. There go the gauges right there. Let me show you. Hate to talk about it and not show you. There go your temp gauge right there. The gauge will read, my gauge will fluctuate anywhere from 220 to 240. I changed everything from the thermostat, water pump, fan shroud, flushed it twice, and now let me use it loud. And I've done everything else except do the radiator. And I had to think about it, and I don't know why I was fighting it. This is a 2012. That is the original radiator. You can't see inside the radiator. Like, talking about it makes no sense to sit there and try to flush it and put minerals in it to clean it out. Just get a new radiator. $169 to $189 for the radiator. Get a new radiator. Put the radiator in, and look at my needle now. 210. Sorry, it's not focusing, but it's on 210. And I'm gonna show you why you need to get a new radiator before this video cut off on me. Excuse my shop. About to clean it right now. This, let me show you guys. That is my Enclave right there. This is why. Look at the bottom of this radiator here. You will never tell, but the bottom of this radiator, about 2 inches from the bottom, it looks like it's either clogged up or damaged, and you won't be able to see that. You won't be able to see that from the top because the way it sits. But you can tell the difference looking at the radiator once you pull it out. That, man, I'm glad I did change it. And it was a leak somewhere coming from the top, so little for the chances I just changed it. It looked like I'm about to have no issues. So for the guys out there with the issues and all that, change everything. If you got the time, change everything. If you want to know where to start from, depending on what your problem is, if you want to start cheap, the coolant temp sensors anywhere from $22 to $27. You can start there. And if you're still having issues and you've never changed the water pump, you've never changed the thermostat,